welcome to a new week of NaNoWriMo. Hopefully this one will be a lot better than the last one. I'm sure it will because it's going to be really hard to be worse than the last one. Basically, what I need to do is I need to start writing my new story, which is going to be difficult because I have exam week this week, so probably not going to have much time to write, but I'm going to try my best. There are a few things that I want to share. I have my characters. All I need to do is figure out my plot. But I found this picture on Pinterest that I thought was very inspiring. Also, if you're wondering why I'm wearing two different eyeshadow looks, it's because I just got a new eyeshadow palette, so I was just trying out all the shades, and that's why they're not similar to each other, okay? The picture on Pinterest said that the most successful movies and books were simple plots about complex characters. You should be able to articulate your concept in a couple of lines. And I really like this because I do believe this is true. And something that I always do is I start thinking about my plot and I'm gonna make it way too complex, and then I'm like, does this still make sense? So for this one, I'm gonna try to just keep it at a super simple plot, which in this case is just these people going to a tournament, but the focus is going to be on the complexity of the characters, so I really like to keep that quote in mind while I am writing. And the other thing that I wanted to share with you is I found a list. I always keep track of the dreams that I have, because sometimes I just have really weird dreams and then I like to write them down just in case I'm ever looking for inspiration. So I was reading these and I realized that one of the dreams I once had is freakishly similar to the idea that I now have for my NaNoWriMo story, that I just talked about in my last video about the castle with the different quests in it. So I'm definitely taking some inspiration from this dream that I had. I thought it would be fun if I would just read it to you very quickly because I think it's quite a fun dream.
So I dreamed me and my friends were just walking through a city, and then these two guys jumped out of a tree and they offered us a ride with their boat that was sailing through the streets. And we dressed up as pirates to blend in with the other people, and we all had specific magical gifts. And the guys, they left us off at a huge house, and in that house we sailed on with the boat through the house. And it was very dangerous because there were all sorts of riddles that you had to solve to get to the next room, kind of like in a Legend of Zelda game. And I had a really big book with me, and my gift was that I was the only one that was able to decipher what was in the book. And another one of my friends had the gift to blind people with light, and another one of my friends was a chosen one, so she wasn't allowed to show her super powerful gift to the bad guys. And I was able to look up all sorts of things in that book about all the crazy things and the creatures that were residing in this house. And because of that, I was able to solve all the puzzles so we could get through the house and come to the next room. And we came across another boat that had real pirates, including Jack Sparrow. And they thought that we were the bad guys, so we had to prove to them that we were real pirates and not just dressing up as pirate. And for some reason, one of my friends made them believe that we were real pirates, so we had to go through the house and solve all the puzzles to get through the next room. And then in one room, we came across some kind of oracle, and there were large pillars in the water, so you couldn't see much of the entire room because it was filled with pillars, and we couldn't see the oracle very well. But because I had the book, I had seen in the book what the oracle looked like, and so I was able to find out that it was actually underwater. And this oracle was able to answer all of your questions, but of course she wanted something in return. Apparently we were looking for something very important inside the house, but we didn't know where it was. But then we decided to not ask it because we were like, we can find it ourselves. So we just left the oracle and we got to the next puzzle, and this one was very difficult because there was this row of pillars and there were 5 dogs that were sleeping. And if you came in a certain distance to the dogs would wake up and eat you. But according to the book that I could read, there was a certain way to exactly maneuver around all of the dogs without waking any of them up. So we did exactly what the book told us, but the dogs still woke up even though we weren't in their waking distance. So we were like super surprised, and the dogs started attacking us, and the only thing that we could do was just sail through the room very quickly to get through the other hallway. But the dogs just ran after us even when we had already left the room. We just kept on going until we got to a wall, and the dogs just fell asleep again. But the next puzzle was that we had to solve the puzzle, otherwise the wall wouldn't open and we would be stuck. The boat was half broken, so part of the people on the boat were like, we can just go back because we can't do this with so many people. So we ripped the boat in two and we continued with only half of the people. So we were trying to find a way to get through the wall, but it was really difficult because these dogs kept waking up and attacking us. And then suddenly, the dogs turned into humans. And they all started attacking they started attacking us with little tennis rackets that could shoot fireballs. What? So we also got tennis rackets to attack them, but we were really bad at aiming the fireballs. But then we realized we have magical powers. And it was really cool because then we all started using our magical powers, and my magic was blue, and every one of my friends had a different color magic, and then it ended with some kind of really charming and handsome bad guy that kidnapped the chosen one, and then we didn't know what to do, and that's where I woke up.
Interesting. Interesting. I have very weird dreams, but I think it's pretty cool. And I think it's kind of the idea that I'm going for. You know, every room in a castle has a different type of puzzle or quest that you have to solve. I think that would be a lot of fun to write. I hope I can still write something tonight, but I really have to start studying for my exam. So I don't know if I'll get to that. Yesterday I started writing the new version of my story, and I wrote about 2,000 words, and I'm really enjoying it so much more than the other thing that I was writing, so I'm very happy that I decided to make this change. I'm not writing in Word or Scrivener, but instead I started writing in Google Docs, and you can't see your word count in there, which is both a blessing and a curse, because on the one hand you can't see your word count, so it's not constantly stressing you out, but then after you've been writing for what feels like ages, you're like, whoa, I've been writing for so long, I must have at least 3,000 words, and then you check your word count in a Word document, and it turns out you've only just made the daily word count. I always feel like I'm writing for ages, and then I only have 1,000 words. Hello guys, so I have an exam tomorrow, so I don't really have that much time to write, but yesterday I thought I'm just gonna write a little bit, and I think I wrote 2,000 words yesterday within an hour, which is insanely fast for my doing, but I was very happy that at least I got a little bit done. I'm very much into my story right now. I'm really enjoying it. I'm slowly figuring out the plot and kind of outlining as I go. In total, I now have over 6,000 words, which means I'm only 10k behind on schedule. That's not bad. I'm always kind of struggling with trying to find names for my characters, but usually they just randomly get into your head. Like, for example, I was studying for my exam, so I was typing into Google RNA, which is something that my exam is about, and instead of RNA, I typed in RANA, and I was like, oh, Rana, that's a nice name. Just, oh, the places where you find inspiration. Hey guys, it's Saturday. It's the 11th of November, I think. So the past 2 days I've been busy with my exam, like I said, so obviously not much writing has been done. I think today is the day that you're supposed to be at 20,000 words. I am currently at about 8,000 words into my new story, but in total I have 14,000 words, so it's not too bad. It's just that I started a new story that makes it look like I'm doing really bad.
I just really need to shut out my inner editor. I've been writing a lot faster because I'm just word vomiting. It's not at all good or anything, but I'm enjoying what I'm writing, so I'm just trying to tell myself, stop thinking about people that might read it, because honestly, I'm just writing for myself. Really, I'm just writing this story for myself. No one has to read it. You can change it later.
Also, something that I've been doing that I've been really liking is I started using a notebook, which I know sounds like duh, of course, but I always use my phone as a notebook to write down my ideas, but actually using like an actual notebook and just writing by hand is just, it makes all the difference. I can't explain what it is. I definitely recommend using an actual physical notebook that you write in with an actual pen. I also just introduced two characters to each other, and I love doing that because I'm writing in multiple perspectives, and I just love those moments where two characters that you've been following separately meet each other. I have a tendency to just write my characters doing nothing. Nothing important happens. They're just like living their life, doing their things. And I'm like, plot, where are you? What are you doing? Why aren't my characters involved with you? Hi, I'm currently working on some writing that I have to do for school, unfortunately, and that's a movie playing because I am not very productive. But I have the opportunity to enroll for a creative writing lesson, which I really want to do because I've never actually had any kind of education in writing. But this class is super popular, so I have to write a short motivation in a few sentences, and I have no idea how to do this because I really want it. I love writing and I love doing NaNoWriMo, but I have no idea how to like convince people that I really want to go to this writing class. Hey guys, so I've just basically made this. Momo, what are you doing? She's chasing her own tail. Momo, you can see her ear right there. And now it's gone. Anyway, as I was saying, I've made a decision about what direction I want my story to take. Since my story is pretty immersive, like the world and the setting, it just has the opportunity for many characters and subplots, and all sorts of things could happen in it. So I've kind of decided that I'm just gonna write whatever I want in this story. If I feel like writing a random scene about a random character in this world, then I will. If I feel like randomly jumping perspectives, I will. This is kind of just like a fun project where I can write as much as I want, and I think that's a good exercise to help me learn writing without having to constantly think about, oh, this needs to be like a well thought out story. And maybe later I can think, hey, this storyline is very interesting, this storyline is working, and then I could use that later to actually try to write a structured novel. That's it. Goodbye.